Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding an amateur record of 5 wins for 2 defeats. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 63.3 kilograms. Fighting out of Absolute MMA by way of Collingwood in Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daniel Mercurio. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding an amateur record of 3 wins for just 1 defeat. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall with an official weight of 63.2 kilograms. Fighting out of TFC at the Fight Centre in Logan, Queensland. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sean Danny Ravioli Aiello! And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Nathan Waters.
Both fighters touching gloves, getting this fight underway. T. Oh, right hand.
Yes, I'm here, John.
Landing over the top for John Daddy Ravioli.
Is that
Aiello.
the best nickname you've ever heard?
That's a
Daddy
great name.
Ravioli.
It just rolls off the tongue. But straight away you see using the cage as a weapon as opposed to using it defensively. John is keeping that pressure on Daniel and just really asserting his dominance.
Well, we've seen Daddy Ravioli before. Both these guys very experienced. Daddy Ravioli switching up his gym, going up to Logan to train at the Fight Centre with Ben Johnston, Coach Uncle Des Meta, alongside his other teammates and coaches, Darcy Vendy. He's got a lot of help up there at TFC. Diego Pereira, Cash Haberfield, even Sam Dobb making his way up to Logan on a regular basis. But it's been a good night for Absolute MMA. I know that fight of the night possible performance from Mate Arjaliev. He didn't walk away with the victory, but at just 17 years of age, he looked fantastic. Louis Tran, a round 1 submission over Dan Gall. Don't count out Daniel Mercurio just yet, Chong, but it's all Daddy Ravioli in the early stages of round 1.
And I've just seen Daniel shaking his head as Aiello initiate another wrestling exchange against the cage. And it almost seems like Daniel's a bit frustrated. He's turned to John now and he's put John back against the cage. Let's see what he can do with it. I can see a little bit of blood coming out of Daniel's face as well on his, I think it's under his right eye perhaps, but he's done a great job to separate. Back to the striking exchanges. Oh, he's landed a good left hook there. Did Daniel. Both men supremely confident on their feet. Working against the cage as well. You can really see that experience coming through. Nothing's rushed. Everything is strategic. There's a reason behind every strike. As we see Daddy Ravioli once again just initiating the clinch against the cage.
And this is his bread and butter. Strike to set up his takedowns. If you can't finish, come back up to the body lock. Apply head pressure, separate and strike again. It's worked a charm 3 times out of 4 in his young amateur mixed martial arts career. But you talk about experience, Chong. 7 fights in favour of Daniel Mercurio. He's no stranger to this type of work, but the power that Daddy Ravioli possesses proving to be a problem. Oh, there you go, 1 for 1 after the bell. These guys, we shouldn't even have a break between rounds, I tell you. These guys just want to keep fighting.
Promising sign of the respect that they have for the game, showing up prepared, showing respect for their opponent, you know, conditioned, well-trained. Oh, good. Doubling up on the jab from Daddy Ravioli.
How good have these fights been tonight, Chong? I tell you what, you've got to give credit to promoter Robin O'Neill. The matchmaking tonight has been absolutely outstanding, and the fans in attendance and for you watching at home, no doubt you're enjoying yourselves, because I know that we are.
Yeah, you got to give it up to Robin O'Neill and also the judges who have done, an incredible job.
Yes.
Trying to pick these fights. I mean,
you don't hear us say that often, do you, John? But credit where credit is due.
Once in a while.
Our judges, for the most part, I believe, have made the right decisions when we have gone to the scorecards.
Yeah. And here we go with the wrestling exchange initiated by Mercurio this time. And he's got Daddy Ravioli on the defense against the cage. He's got a leg up. If he can step over, if Mercurio can step over that leg, going to peel that hook and step over, and he can initiate and start going to the back. But Mercurio's done a great job of framing out with that. Daddy Ravioli's done a great job to turn Mercurio and put his back against the cage. And if you're watching at home and you want an indicator for success, it's what you want to look for is who's putting pressure and weight where. Who looks unbalanced?
Well, you can hear the corner. Simon Carson from Absolute MMA, he's calling for that whizzer. Because we know if Daddy Ravioli can isolate a leg or even move to high crotch, he's very strong from those positions.
And these both fighters just, again, evenly matched. And having a wide arsenal of offense, but also having solutions to the problems that are presented in front of them. Mercurio is putting together a few punches now. And, Daddy Ravioli utilizing that long frame, ducking their head behind the shoulder to stay out of trouble. And it's just tit for tat. And again, if you're watching at home, watch for the feints and watch for the angles that they're striking from. And it's not like they're just striking and standing. They're striking. It's fluid. They're working their way into these wrestling exchanges. And even when they're wrestling here, they're constantly pummeling for underhooks and they're head fighting. And
absolutely.
It's such a good technical exchange.
And it's taxing as well. Even though Daddy Ravioli is the one applying positional control up against the fence, that's definitely taxing him. Not as much as Mercurio, though. And you'd have to think with the last 10 seconds, Daniel will look to land more shots to close out round 2 as we look forward to a third and final round in this one. Nathan Waters breaking that one up quick smart. From Integrated MMA on the Sunshine Coast, Jordan Southern looks to put a stop to Odin Muscat's momentum, round 3 in our co-main, John.
So already I can see Mercurio is utilizing a lot more feints to close that distance. So he's not striking his way in, he's feinting his way in. He's just using his feet to set himself up so it's solid when it's, Daddy Ravioli just countering with that right hand. But Mercurio seems to have been giving some very specific instructions to use feints to close that distance and utilize his hands a little bit more.
Well, let's be honest, he's woken up, Chong. I mean, he was caught off guard by Daddy Ravioli's fast start in round number 1. Round 2, you would dare say it was a 50-50 round, but I wouldn't be surprised if the judges gave Mercurio the edge, and he knows he's got to go to work here in round 3 because, again, as we've seen so many times throughout the evening, we could be one apiece in our third and final round for our co-main event.
And I can see clearly now Mercurio is wearing a nice little cut under his right eye. And that's a bit of a threat, especially when Daddy Ravioli really likes that lead hook when he's in that orthodox position or that left hand. Surely it's got to be a target for him. He's going to set that up and try and exploit that. There he goes with the left hand. There he goes with the left hook. So he's aiming for that cut, but he's got to dress it up around it. You can't just go in and just keep throwing that same shot. You've got to set it up with other strikes to the other side of the body to draw the attention away, draw the guard away. There he goes.
That's a beautiful counter from Mercurio. Sorry to cut you off, Chong, but it almost appeared like Daniel was waiting for the shot from Ravioli. Instead, he's decided to counter right within range, as we see there. They trade inside the pocket, and again.
I love it. I love it.
Can you believe these guys are amateurs? You got to be kidding me.
Both guys just standing in the middle, trading hands. But it's not wild. It's not a wild exchange, you know what I mean? It's technical.
Yes.
They're choosing the moments. They're creating space when they need to, but they're taking away space when they feel like they want to be the aggressor. And I just saw Mercurio look at the clock.
45 seconds remaining in our third and final round of our co-main event.
Mercurio's doing a great job of like doubling up on that jab and using his footwork to get into position. And his following up his boxing with some kicks, which is always nice because then those kicks can come from such a weird angle.
Well, crowd starting to get behind Daddy Ravioli now. It's a good round for Mercurio, though. Ooh. Very interesting to see how the judges score this one. 10 seconds left, and Ravioli momentarily had Mercurio up against the cage. They will throw to the final bell, John. Yeah. What a fight! What? Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for an official decision. Judge 1 scores the contest 29-28 in favor of the red corner. Judge 2 scores the contest 29-28 in favor of the blue corner. And Judge 3 scores the contest 30-27 for your winner by split decision in the red corner, John Daddy